Hey, how's it going everyone? Sean here, as always, with Make or Create, and as always, my sidekick today, controlling all the buttons and widgetry, we have Ian Pye as well. Hey Ian, how's it going?
I am good. How are you, Sean?
Yeah, good. Nice weekend. How about yourself?
Yeah, excited for this.
Yeah.
That's all I've been thinking about.
Since last week. But yeah, no, all good. I hope you're all well at home. Thank you to everyone that sent in your animations from last week. We've had a lot of fun watching them and uploading them to our YouTube channel. We'll come back to that in a little bit. We'll have a watch of a couple of them, I think, and stuff like that. But yeah, been enjoying getting to do some digital animation. Oh, big shout out actually to WizKids as well. WizKids are a charity for disabled young people, and they got us in last week now on Friday to do a private session with those with their young people, and it was really good. So big shout out to them. Hope they're all well, and a few of them might be tuning in today to take part in this one as well. So today we are going to be doing a stick figure animation. Now, I'm sure that if many of you enjoy watching animations, particularly ones on YouTube and stuff like that, you might have come across stick figure animations before. They are massive. There's normally some kind of super epic battle between them and things like that. And it's a good place that a lot of people start animating from because it's a little bit quicker than some of the other characters to start animating and things. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do some stick figure animation. I think before we get stuck in, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just have a quick recap, make sure everything's got everything in front of them. So what we're going to need today is a device that you are watching this on, hopefully. Might be a computer, might be a TV, might be an iPad, might be a phone, whatever, a device to watch this on, and then a separate device to do your animating on. I'm using an iPad here today, but the FlipaClip app works on iPads. It also works on Androids and Googles and Fires. It's on the Google Play Store and the Apple Store, so it works on pretty much every smart device. So as well as working on tablets, it also works on phones. So yeah, as long as you've got that installed, you will be good to go. I'm going to use an Apple Pencil today, but any stylus will work fine with pretty much with your tablet, and also a finger, if you don't have a stylus, will be good as well. We've actually got a pack actually to give away with a stylus in this week, so some lucky person will be getting one sent to them. Cool. So just before we start jumping in and doing our animation, I thought what might be quite nice is to look at one that I pre-made. Now I believe that Ian might have from kind of like wizardry one that I worked on this week and have it ready to roll so that we can do it. If not, I can always throw it on from my iPad. How are you looking there, Ian? Do you think you've got that one good to go and show people?
Let's go.
All right. So this is my little green man walking in and then doing a little jump up there. Now that took a lot longer than you might think it would to complete that and put it on there. Some people might have seen it on our social media. I reckon that was probably all in all about 2-3 hours worth of work on Saturday morning. I can't remember when we did it now. Saturday morning, I think it was. For me, we did a little bit of a walk cycle and a jump from our stick man up there. But the thing with animations is they take a long time. So we're going to see if we can reenact something a bit like that today during this one. Cool. So Ian, are we asking any questions at the beginning of the stream? Have we got anything going out early doors that we want to let people know and things?
We definitely can. Yeah. So obviously we did a little bit of a competition last week. We asked you guys to submit animations to us, and we will show you where you can see them in a little bit, and we will talk about the prizes for that. But we're going to do the same thing this week. So I'll pop a question out now for our Facebook viewers, and anybody else watching anywhere else, YouTube or Periscope or Twitch, you can let us know in the comments. The question is, are you going to submit one to us? Now there's no rush on this, not a major rush anyway, but what we want you to do is absorb all the information Sean's about to give you, and then go away and think, okay, what's mine going to be like? And then you've got until Sunday night to send it, to work on it and send it to us. So that's what we want you to be thinking about, and we'll show you how to send it to us, and then we're also going to show you in this video what you stand to win. if we pick yours in next week's stream. So just ask that out on Facebook, and we've got lots of people saying, oh yeah, and then we've got quite a few people saying, I'm not sure. So if you're not sure, let us know why, and then there's a good chance if you're not sure, I'm not sure how to do it, or I'm not sure I'm ready yet, or just let us know, and then me and Sean can calm you down a little bit and hopefully give you some confidence to, because we want to see him, we want you to send them to us.
That's a really good point, that, Ian. It kind of reminds me of a little bit like, I'm sure there will be some people viewing at home that, I wonder if it's still on TV, but one of my favourite TV shows when I was younger was called Art Attack. Ian, you've got a couple of young ones. Is Art Attack still around, or is that gone now? Is that forever gone into the distance?
It's not on in our house, but yeah, I'm of that generation as well. And
Neil Buchanan's Art Attack. Yeah, it was one of my favourites. And what I always found one of the struggles was, he would tell you how to do something and you'd be desperately trying to do it along with him at the same time, and you could never do it really because he'd already had it all prepped and ready and good to go and things. And I think he also took some shortcuts. I think he might have cheated a little bit, but I suppose that's TV for you, isn't it? But you'd have to try and remember exactly what he'd done to try and finish yours off later on. The great thing about this is that you can come back to it, so feel free to watch it now, try and carry on. But if you're not able to do it quite at the same speed of us, just take your time, pause the video if you want to, or watch the whole video, come back, watch it again, do it. And I think we normally leave the polls open till Sunday to send in your animations to be featured potentially on next week's stream. So loads of time to do that. Right, that's enough talking about that. Let's get stuck in there. Let's actually do some animating. So what we're going to do is, if you open up the FlipaClip app on your device that you're working on, and we'll start having a look at opening a new project. So here's my FlipaClip at the home screen, and you can see some of the projects that I've been working on. This one's actually the one that Ian showed there before. So this is the stick figure walking and jumping one that I did. I'm not sure if it had the audio on the one that you showed, Ian, because I can't hear the audio when it's playing back. But yeah, this is the one that I was working on. You can kind of see it there, frame by frame, how we went about that. Going through a nice walk cycle and then jumping up. Cool. But what we're going to do is we're going to start a fresh one. So to start a fresh one, what we want to do is click on this plus button in the bottom right hand corner. And we're going to name our project. So obviously you can name it whatever you like, but I'm going to call mine stick figure. Stick figure. That's fine for me. I can press done. And then we are going to choose our background. Now this, we're going to do it a little bit different. You might have spotted on the video that I'd seen that animation so many times. I kind of like it blended into the background for me. Excuse the pun. But yeah, you got to see my home office a little bit on that last one. That's where I was doing a bit of animation, and I'd imported a photo. So if we click on choose background, as well as being able to choose one of the pre-made ones that we've got in here, a lot of papers and stuff like that. And we also looked at last week using the color fill, which was this the kind of like paint bucket one. There's also a couple of options below that. One looks like a pile of photos, and the other one below it looks like the icon for a camera. So what I'm going to do first and foremost, I'm going to click on the camera. That's what I used to make that first animation, and that lets you use and have a look and use the camera. There's Ian. So if we wanted to, we could kind of animate on Ian if we wanted to. Yeah, there you go. Maybe get like a stick man coming across there or something else within the office. But what I'm going to do, and so to use that, all you need to do is click on the camera button and you'd be able to use that and animate on a photo. And that's exactly what I did on that last one. But another option is for you to animate on top of a photo that you've already got. So maybe it's a photo you've already taken or something you've already downloaded, or it might even be a drawing that you've saved as an image on your computer. So I downloaded one already. Sorry, I've moved that around now so it's not centered right. There we go. That's all right. Ian will be shouting at me later on. So now what I need to do is I'm going to go into my files because I've already pre-downloaded one. So now if I click on this one, which is like kind of the pictures on top of each other, It says, where do I want to look for it? Now, I must say, again, I'm working on an iPad here, so if you're working on Android or Google Pixel or anything like that, it all looks slightly different. They've all got their own operating systems, so you know this. I'm sure you'll know how to find your own photo libraries and things like that, or it might have a slightly different name. I'm sure Paul's going crazy in the comments here trying to tell us what it's called on an Android device, but I know that I'd gone on to Google already because I was, believe it or not, we actually do some prep sometimes for these sessions, and I'd gone on to Google and downloaded an image that I wanted to use on mine. So I saved this in my file and on my devices, and you might spot, there it is, this little image here. There you go. There's a question that can go out onto anyone from YouTube or Facebook that are watching us. Where is this background from? And so because this background's a square, it's saying you need to crop it so that it's 16:9, which is the same ratio that we get on YouTube and things like that we're setting up at the beginning. So if I said that I was going to send it to Instagram, it would probably be fine with the layout it is, but I want to send it to YouTube. So I'm gonna get this. I want to be able to use these platforms, so I'm going to this bottom row anyway, at least. So I'm going to bring it down to the bottom. Then when I'm happy with the cropping of it, I'm just going to click on the, in fact, I could, if I wanted to, I could flip this around inside here as well. So you flip it around so it's that way. But the only problem with doing it that way now is because I've got question marks on mine, it doesn't really work that well. But if it was an image that didn't have any writing on and stuff like that, you can flip it around, spin it and things like that. But I'm going to keep it the way it was. And then when you're happy with it, you can just click on the tick button and it should fit that into the background. Oh, I wonder, it's grey there. I'm wondering if that's gonna, let me have another go at doing that. I wonder why that's not worked there. Tick, there we go, worked that time. I was a little bit worried then that it was just gonna keep coming up grey every time I wanted to do it. So I've got my background in there now that I'm going to use. And I'm going to keep it at 12 frames per second, and YouTube, that's all fine for me. So now I'm happy with mine. I'm going to click on create project. Fantastic. So as we've got this in here, I'm going to do a little bit of a plug while I'm here for Paul's sessions that he is doing tomorrow. So anyone that is like me and into your retro game design, Paul is doing a retro computer game design mashup session. And I know that last Tuesday he was designing characters. I think he did a Mario / Captain America kind of mashup character with Yoshi's tail. Gosh, it's like a memory test this of everything that was in there. And this week they're actually doing level design. So this is actually very on point. We're going to do a retro mashup. Ian, just quick, has anyone come back with any idea of where this is from, what this level is or anything like that? Any of those in the comments so far? Or if not, we'll give people a bit more time. But yeah, I'm sure someone out there will know what that is.
I think a lot of people might know. I think that everybody's just gone, obviously, they know what it is, and nobody's responded. But yeah, go on, fastest finger first. I'll keep my eyes.
Keep your eyes peeled on it.
Yeah,
and we'll keep going.
I am just looking for the links to tomorrow's session as well. So if you like this one and if you've never heard of the other one that we were doing, I'll check out the links in the comment section for our session tomorrow as well.
Yes, they are all on our Facebook event and on our YouTube channel and things like that. So Ian's going to be really handy and get the links there. But if you can't find them, I'm sure if you do a little bit of digging, they're around. You'll be able to find them and get them in there. So what we're doing today, as we were mentioning before, is stickman figures. Now I'm actually just going to use the pen tool today, the fine liner. I know that last week we went through all the different brushes and what they look like and things like that. So if you've not done last week's animation, feel free to go back and do it. You'll learn a little bit about the brush types and things like that. But today we are just going to keep with using the fine liner pen for doing the stickman animation. I've got my grid turned on this one as well. You might be able to see it. There's kind of like fine red squares going through this animation. To turn that on in yours, if it's not already on, if you go to these three dots in the top right hand corner, we get a few options. You just want to make sure that grid's turned on. You can just turn it on and off there. And what that does is it just makes it, I find it makes it a little bit easier to kind of see how far we've moved and what we've animated and things like that as we're doing it. So make sure they're all on. And then I'm just going to check out my pen. So to find out how thick your pen is and what it looks like and things like that, if you click on the highlighter again, the fine liner again, we get the different options here, and we've got how thick it is, which is this little black dot just beneath it, and then what color it is. So I think that, what color do you reckon, Ian? I've got to go with a red, I reckon, on this one. I don't want to give too many clues away to where this is based, but maybe I feel like a red one might be apt maybe in this level.
Yeah, I'll put Sean out of his misery. We have had some answers.
Wow, someone's been able to decrypt it.
Yeah. David Mooney, I think, was first. YouTube, come on guys, you've let us down there. Facebook was all over it. Yeah, Mario, and then our very own Paul was just picked at the post. Yeah, with Super Mario Brothers, he's gone like on the money. And then Lisa said Mario, Helen said Mario. Yeah, you got some good answers in there. Just as well, I put a poll out asking if you're going to take a picture or if you're going to find one online, and overwhelmingly take my own picture, which is the right answer.
Yeah.
You know, it's creative, it's your own stuff. That's what we like to see. That's just massively in the lead. So well done, everybody. We're really looking forward to seeing them. So
definitely. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the color of my pen, as we were mentioning. So to change the color, you click in the black box, which is there, and again we've got our color wheel. So actually it's kind of already on a reddish color up here, but it's this square in the middle which controls the shading, how dark it is. That's why it looks black. So it's in this bottom left hand corner here. So I'm going to move it a little bit, maybe, so it's a little bit more in the red. And then I'm going to drag this dot, and if I drag it to the top right hand corner, you can see that it's a lot more red. The dot in the center of it, you can kind of like, as you're moving it, you can kind of see the color that dot is the color that your pen's going to be. So I'm going to use it like top right and make it a nice red. And I'm gonna, although I can see that I've got like quite a fine, I'm gonna just do a little bit of a drawing just to see how it feels. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make mine a little bit thicker than that, my character. So I'm gonna click on the dot, which is just underneath the highlighter, and just drag it up a little bit. So let's try 12. Yeah, that feels a little bit nicer to me. So I'm gonna go with my character 12, maybe 13. Let's see what 13 or 14 looks like. Yeah, actually I'm gonna go all the way up to 14, I think, on mine. So depending on what your picture is, you might want a thinner or a thicker character to be on yours. I'm gonna draw mine relatively small because I want him to look like he's interacting with this platformer that's gonna be on there. So I'm gonna stick with a 14 for the body. Let me just erase those ones there. Do them back on here, and I'm gonna draw my first character. So let's have a look. I'm going to start with the body. So I'm going to do the body about here. And I'm going to do two legs coming off. A couple of arms. Yeah, relatively happy with that. So there's a couple of different ways we can run with the head on a stickman figure. A lot of people like to do the kind of circular one that's drawn, like a circular head like that that's drawn. I actually think I prefer just using a fully circular head, and a nice little trick for doing that with this, I'm just going to undo my head there, is you can actually go onto the fine liner again and just adjust the head size till it's the size you want. So I might try like a 52 there. Let's just see if I got that right. Oh no, I think that's a little bit small, so I'm going to undo that. I'm going to go a bit higher. 57, let's try that one. Ooh, bit too big. So between a 54 and a 57 for me, maybe a 50, 55, 56. Try 55. Yeah, that's about right. I might have maybe gone more lower, but I'll stick with that. So I'm actually just going to make a little note for myself there. And this is something that you might want to do as well. Just while you're doing it, you can make a little note of how big you use your pen size, because you're going to go back and forth between them drawing them. So I went 14 for my body, I think it was. Is that right, Ian? And then 54 for my head. I think that sounds about right for what I did. So 54 and a 14. So I've got my first character drawn here, and I've got my first frame. What I want to do is I'm actually going to get my character to almost like zoom across, because he's a stick man. I'm going to have him so it's like almost like he's got superpowers, like you might do in a video game. I'm going to get him to try and zoom across from here all the way over to this sort of location over here. So I want him to start here and then fly across over to here, and then we might see what we get up to from being over here. So what we've got to use to do that is when you've got a character that is going to make a big jump or make a big move, rather than just starting to animate them moving across, they use a technique called anticipation. And what anticipation does is, if you are ever going to move something really quickly, say in this direction here, what you need to do is actually tell the viewer that you're going to do that. And so to tell the viewer that you're going to move quickly in one direction, what you actually do is move it a little bit in the opposite direction first. And what it does is it just kind of gives the viewer a little bit of a warning that something quick is going to happen next, or that something big is going to be coming up. If I just move from this location here straight to over here, the viewer might not really get it or might not see what's going on. So it's like a little bit of a warning, or a little bit of a kind of get ready for something, and it's called anticipation. And it's a technique that you use to kind of to give your viewers a little bit of a warning that something big is going to happen. So let's get rid of this arrow, because I don't need that in my animation. So to do that, I'm gonna make a new frame. So I just click on this plus button at the bottom to add a new frame. And because we've already got a background selected, that always automatically just gets copied across to the next frame. So if you've taken a photo or uploaded one, that should already be in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of get my character almost like he's kind of like reaching back before he goes full force the other way. So I'm going to, and you can see I've got a little bit of an outline here of my character, and that's because of the onion skinning. I know we mentioned onion skinning last week. If you don't see an outline of your first drawing, it's because you've possibly not got onion skinning turned on. So just make sure you do. You click on the three dots at the top, and you want this button to be switched on here, this red one that's next to onion. And then you'll be able to see it. If I didn't have that turned on, it'd look like that. So you need to make sure it's turned on. So, because that really helps you when you're animating, kind of get a view of where the last picture was. So let's get onto it. So I'm going to start designing my character again. So his body's going to be roughly in the same position. This leg going to be here. Now this one I'm actually going to start to bring up a little bit. And I'm going to move this arm a little bit higher and start to bring this one down a little bit. And then I'm going to put his head on. So I'm going to jump back. This is why it's important to try and remember what number you use for the character head. So I use the 54. I'm going to put that 54 in there again. And I'm going to add another frame. And I'm going to go back to my 14. That's there. I'm going to keep the body roughly in the same place again. And this leg, again, is the one that's on the ground, while this one's coming around a little bit. And this arm's going to kind of go out a little bit straighter this time. And this one's going to start coming around to this side. You can kind of see I'm starting to get, and I'm going to go back to 54 for my head. And even, let's just have a quick look at what that looks like at the moment. So it's almost like he's kind of like getting ready, like a sprinter or something like that on the starting gate. He's going to get ready for his animation. So I'm going to add another frame in. That's going to be my catchphrase, I think, for this series. I'm going to add another frame in. So while I'm just doing this, Ian, if you let me, if there's been any questions or anything like that, or any ideas of what they're going to be animating on top of, that might be quite nice. If people have got some nice photos and things like that they're animating on top of, that'd be great to hear.
I have asked the question, how are you finding the workshop? Lots of people are saying that they're fine, some saying okay. Just a small percentage saying that they're struggling. So that's what the comments section is for, guys. You know, if you are struggling with anything, just pop it in there and we'll try our best to answer. But I guess that's a nice opportunity to plug our private sessions that we've got. So obviously this is free. And if you really enjoy it and you want to learn a bit more and maybe have the opportunity to ask some questions face to face over a Zoom session, then that is where you can find us, and Sean will show you kind of a recap on this, but then show you some extra stuff on there as well. What's the topic for the next private session, Sean?
So for the next private session, we're going to be working on stickman animations again, but we are going to be looking at two things. We're going to be, one of my favorite things in the world is audio. I love audio, and we're going to be looking at Foley, which is actually the art of adding sound effects to our animations. So as well as kind of making the animations, we're going to be adding audio on top of them. We're going to just go into a few more details as well on this. We're going to look at doing a walk cycle, so showing you how to get your character to walk. It is a little bit of a tricky process, so we decided not to run with that one today because we want to make sure everyone was all right with us doing it. But if you wanted to take your stickman animations to the next level, I'd highly recommend it, because we're going to go through some extra kind of stickman animation stuff, and also the ability of how we can add audio into our animations to kind of like take them to that next level and let them kind of come to life a little bit more. All right, so I've got 5 frames there now. Let's have a quick look at our animation. So remember, whenever you're animating something, always be sure to go back and hit that play button and have a look at kind of what it looks like. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Kind of looks like he's doing a little dance at the moment with mine. I'm quite happy. He's kind of throwing his hands back as he's ready to go, and he's going to start running just after this one. That
actually looked a little bit like me when I've been for a walk and stood in some dog mess.
Let's have a look. Yeah. Maybe if he was on a skateboard, that would be my animation over. I just kind of moved that across the screen. That is quite a good skate. I'm gonna save that one. That's a little skateboard animation. Yeah, he's got one leg going across just going back. Okay, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to kind of start getting ready to do is move forward. So I'm going to add in a couple more frames. So now I'm basically going backwards really from this one. And something that you could do if you wanted to is you could keep drawing them all in as we were, but save myself a little bit of time. I might actually go back a frame here, and my frame 4, which is kind of like the opposite of the one before the last one, and I'm going to just copy that frame just to save me a bit of time, because it's very similar to the type of frame that I would be drawing anyway, as the character kind of wants to come back to normal. So I'll tell you what I'll do as well. I'll just edit my onion skinning so it's all in one color, so it's the same as what everyone else's is. And what I can do is lasso it. Oops, I hit the lasso tool. So I've gone around this character now, and what I want to do is copy it, and in the top right hand corner there's a couple of pages that are kind of on top of each other. That one copies it, and if I go to my new frame, I can paste it in by pressing the paste button, which is the clipboard with the it's just a clipboard, yeah. And I'm actually going to do the same again for frame 3, so it's almost like a reverse this one. So here we go to frame 3, put my lasso around it, copy it, go to a new frame and paste it in. And now I think I might start drawing them again, actually, because I think I might start doing them a little bit different. But again, I'm going to hit that play button and see what it looks like. Yeah, I'm going to start, because now what I want to do is I actually want to make my character get a little bit lower, I think, as he's going to start to kind of like zoom across the screen. So I'm going to plug in a new one, go back to my pen, and I think I'm going to get the head. Yeah, 54. I'm going to get the head. I'm going to get it to go a little bit lower. So maybe a little bit like it's here. And change the body shape a little bit as well. So down to my 14. You'll see as well when I'm animating, quite a lot of the time I'll draw a line and then I'll just hit that undo button straight away, just because I wasn't happy with it. So don't be, if you start drawing something and you don't like it, don't be scared of deleting it or getting rid of it or erasing it. It's nice and simple. Just click the undo button, go for it again. It's a nice simple body line. That's a little bit better. I'm going to draw that Like still there, but this time this one's going to be coming up a little bit. This arm's going to be.
So just while Sean's
forward.
doing some drawing there, I've asked the question, do you have any questions? And some people have said no, which is fantastic. And some people have asked, how can you show teleportation? Now,
ooh, yeah, I can show you that.
Sean's kind of going to do a version of that. I think his character is going to be running super, super fast.
Yeah.
It's not a million miles
No,
away.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you running super, super fast, and then I will show you teleportation as well, or I'll show you how to go about it. That's a good question. That's a great question.
It's kind of a nice way if, because like Sean said, that when you kind of get each limb to move in a walking motion, it's really, really time consuming. So if you can magically give your characters power where they disappear from there and appear somewhere else, that's kind of a sneaky cheat. It's a lot easier to do. Can we use our animations on any different programs? Yes,
yeah.
We mentioned this quite a lot last week. What we like to do is teach you what we call transferable skills. So Sean's going through a lot of principles here. Yes, he is saying this button's over here and this feature's over here, but if you use a different app, then you can still do that thing about anticipation. That's a principle. So like the buttons will all be different, but the principles of what he's showing you should be the same regardless of whatever app that you're using.
That's a really good point, Ian. Just to kind of go back on that, wanted to say that this video has been inspired by a chap that is on Facebook. Oh gosh, I forgot his name now. I'm gonna find it out. I'll find it out during when we're looking at some of the other animations and things like that we were doing later on. I'm sure I made a note of that, but I'll have a quick look at it and we'll find it out. But I think it's Alice. Something like Alison Becker. I'll find it out, but he does some absolutely brilliant YouTube videos that are all about animation. He doesn't just do stickman animations, but he does some other lots of kind of principles of animations and things. And all the videos that he was showing are actually on Adobe Flash, which I don't even think exists anymore because I think they're quite a few years old now. I'm not sure if Adobe Splash still exists, but exactly what Ian was saying then, because the principles are so correct, it doesn't matter what platform he's using when he's doing it. It works really well. So just big shout out to him, even though I've not got his name right, but I will find it and I will tell you it right before the end of this episode. Because I want to make sure that we're still kind of learning along with you guys as we're doing this. A lot of this, I spent a lot of my weekend figuring out the best way of getting these characters to move and things like that. And so you want to give a big shout out to anyone that's kind of helping us do it, and those videos were absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to move this time. You might see I've leaned my character forward a little bit on this one again, and I'm going to this time bring this arm around, this one around here. So again, I'm just going to keep going back and forth and watching mine as we're going. You see it looks like he's just about to kind of start zooming forward now. So I think I'm going to do, I think I'm quite happy with that, kind of like as the point where he's going to zoom forward. So what I'm going to do now is, and you might have spotted then I did it on that last one, rather than redrawing my character from scratch, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the lasso again, and I'm going to draw around him, and I'm going to copy him. I'm going to make a new frame. And I'll be impressed if anyone can remember this, but we used a couple of techniques last week when we were doing the raindrop, which helps us show when something is moving fast. Where we brought it in slow at the beginning and then it starts moving fast. And that technique is called stretch. And basically what that means is if we were a person running across the screen really fast, they wouldn't actually stretch, they would stay the same size obviously as they're moving across, but because something's moving so fast it almost has the illusion that it's been stretched out. And so what I'm going to do is use the lasso tool, and so I've got my character here in roughly the right position, but I'm going to paste in a new one. And so I might say like maybe I want them to be here, or maybe I want them to be here actually, and I'm going to start with him maybe, I'll go on, I'll pop him into kind of like here. So this is a lot further than all the other transitions that I've made, all the other drawings that I've made, they've all been quite close together so far, but because I want him to be looking like he's moving quickly across the screen, I've made quite a big distance from these two. Now, what you can do with the lasso tool, rather than having to redraw them, is you can actually make them wider like that. But because I've made him quite a bit wider, what I also need to do is make him smaller, because every time you make one movement, you've got to make it the other way. You can't make them suddenly dead wide and still dead tall. If you ever make anything wider, you should always make it smaller, and if you ever make anything bigger, you should always make him thinner whenever you're doing the stretch technique. So I'm going to make him actually a little bit thinner again than that. Move him down maybe to about here, maybe a little bit taller, just trying to get that right balance. That looks like it could be okay. And then I'm going to draw another frame, and I'm actually going to keep the same paste that I got from before. So again, I don't need to draw anything new on this one. I'm just going to paste them in. I'm just going to move them. So I want to stop animating. Ooh, wanting to kind of like end up in this gap here in between these two. So I'm going to draw that one about here. Yeah, and I'm going to hit that play button now. It might look a bit, a little bit hickety pickety at the moment, but let's see what it looks like. I like that. It's kind of like zooming across. It looks like he's just like almost teleport, almost more like Flash than teleport. Flash or Superman. We were complaining about Superman, weren't we, last week? I feel like all these streams are going to be as me and Ian complaining about Superman having too many powers.
Lisa Bryant has almost as if you were reading the comments, Sean, which he isn't.
No.
He said you could, when your stickman is running, you could add a red effect like the Flash when he runs, so kind of like trails coming off him.
Yeah, definitely. I tell you what, that's not a bad idea. I might do that. Yeah. Who was that from?
That's from Lisa Bryant.
Lisa, fantastic idea. Yeah, I think I might. You know what? I've never watched The Flash, the TV show, but I believe everyone that I speak to about it says that it's brilliant. You ever watched that one, Ian?
No, I haven't. No, it's the end.
No. I want to take that one any further? No.
I haven't got time to watch stuff like that anymore. Just while you're doing that, Sean, I thought what I could do is get me and Sean's work up at the same time. I asked the question, what are you going to do? What's your animation going to be about? And we've had a comment from YouTube from another Lisa Harlington. Said a stick figure is going to be falling onto the kitchen counter and then they run away. So that sounds amazing. I can almost half envisage it, that you took a picture in your kitchen and there's going to be this little stick man walking across. We love that, and kind of interacting with stuff that's maybe on the counter. That sounds amazing. And then mine's going to be pushing a car. That comes from Claire Harrison on Facebook. So I don't know whether that's like...
Oh, I know Claire. Claire's from our Halton Adult Learning class. Hi, Claire. Fantastic. Hope you're enjoying the session.
Brill. So whether that's like a toy car that you've took a picture of, or maybe you've got the actual car and you outside. I don't know. Loads of ideas that could...
A little bit of a thing for next week.
Let's not.
Should we say no? Let's keep it under our hats for now. We'll run out of things to talk about, so let's keep it under our hats for now. So just to draw your attention to mine a little bit here. One of the principles of animation is they call it slow in, slow out, and it's used a lot. And what it basically means is at the beginning of an animation, you use quite a lot of frames. So we've got quite a lot of frames there with not too much happening, well, not too much distance going. And then we've got the ones where it's fast, it's really quick. And then they say slow in, slow out. So what I'm going to do now on this other side is quite a few, I've only got 2 at the moment, but I'm going to continue to do quite close together animations for this last bit where my character is trying to kind of slow down and come to a standstill. So I'm going to put a few more frames in here like this one, and that is called slow in, slow out, and that is used quite a lot during lots of animations. So I'm going to try and almost have my character come into a skidding stop here if I can. Oops, that's the head tool, not the body tool. There, forgot to resize it. Tell you what, actually, I might do the head first then on this one. Why it's here too low. Just going back to what we were saying before, if you're doing this along with us and you're thinking to yourself, I'm slowing down here, I'm not managing to do it as quick as Sean's doing it, please don't rush. It's okay, just do this at your own time. Feel free to come back to the animation if you want to, or pause the video if you can, depending on what you're watching us on and things. And so don't feel like you need to rush. I'm just obviously going through it a little bit quicker, because we don't want to be here all. We don't want you guys don't want to be here all day, I'm sure, watching me just animate. So let's get this. Have I moved? No, I'm gonna have to move that back a little bit there. There we go. Let's move that one to there. Too far. Hey, Ian, we didn't look at your animation that you made after last week's session, did we?
Oh, do you want to see it?
I just remembered we lined that up. We got that ready to have a watch of it, and we just completely forgot about it at the beginning. So I reckon that's quite a nice thing to watch.
All right, cool. I will play that in a second. We just had a message from the guys themselves on YouTube, which is FlipaClip, the app that we're using today. And it kind of segues nice into my example because I did it using the free version and you guys might be on the free version, and we're going to try and show you everything that we show you in our streams can be accomplished with the free version as well. But Sean's using the pro one, so he's got a few extra bits and bobs, and you might hear him say, oh, if you see this, it's because I've got the paid for features enabled, that kind of thing. But yeah, nice shout out to those guys, FlipaClip. Some people saying, can you use different apps? Yeah, you can. We like this one though, because it's nice and straightforward and you can produce some fantastic things in it. So yeah, quick look. Here's my rain example, building on what Sean showed us in last week's session. So I've expanded on that a little bit and put in some backgrounds, and I've made my raindrops nice and small. I did have the idea of putting some characters walking along in the rain, so I'm kind of that. Sean's showing us how to do that kind of stuff now, so I can take what I learned last week and take what I'm learning now, and I can put those two together if you want to. So we're kind of holding your hand, taking you through it, and at the end of this very short 3-week course, you should have some pretty well-rounded skills to be going away and creating your own animations. How are we getting on, Sean?
I'm not doing too bad. I think one of the quite nice things about FlipaClip we were talking about there, I've got to admit, I'm a big fan. I just went and unlocked everything and bought all the different things in it. But it's done in a way that you can purchase different parts and bits of it and things like that. So yeah, I really do like it. There's lots of different bits that you can unlock with inside it. So it might be that you don't need to unlock the whole thing, but you might say, do you know what, though, I really just want to be able to add audio to it, or I really want to just stop seeing adverts. That would be probably a big one to me. Or I might want to be able to I'm just trying to think, add extra layers and things like that. We're only using one layer at the moment today, but there's lots of times when we're going to be using different layers and things like that. So yeah, but again, as you said, what I'm going to try and make sure we do is during every session we're only going to be using stuff that's available on the free stuff, but I might show you something that's kind of built in there, so we can see. So I'm just going to have a quick look at this, see how I feel like. I'm going to draw one more thing there. See how I'm getting on, because I've not looked at mine for a little bit, so let's have a quick look. It's okay. Get in there. I feel like I possibly should have had a little bit more of an angle on that one, this one. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go back and just edit one of my frames a little bit. It feels like he's a bit stiff while he's trying to slow down here. So what I'm actually going to do is this is something that you can do as well in yours. Don't feel like just because you've drawn it in, you have to kind of stick with it. So on this one, my character starts trying to slow down, and he's trying to like digging into the ground a little bit. And what I think I've realized with this image here is, I don't think if I was trying to like sticking to the ground and stop myself, I would be stood up so tall. I think I'd probably try and lower my center of gravity a little bit when I was doing it. So I'm just going to go back and I'm just going to lasso this one here, and make him a little bit smaller, make him a little bit wider, kind of get him so he's digging in. And then I think I'm just going to go back to this one and do the same thing again for this one. So lasso in, a little bit smaller, a little bit wider. Because we've got to remember, when we have the you almost have the opposite thing of when something's going fast, when you've got the weight on it. So I'm going to see, let's go with this one again now and have a quick look again. Maybe a little bit smaller, a little bit wider.
Sean, did you realise that you asked people to stick with it then?
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to apologise now for any accidental puns that come your way throughout this. So I'm going to go. So I guess this is just a good one, to kind of a good lesson to learn. Is you don't have to, just because you've drawn something at the time and then you watch it back, don't be scared to go back and edit it and change it and add in extra frames or take out extra frames and things like that. So yeah, I'm going to, in fact, all these ones here, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller.
I guess while Sean's just kind of fixing what he thinks is not quite right there, I've just got a question from Joe Woods. I'll stick that on the screen for people on Facebook, which is, how do you make our stick man run in slow motion? So that all comes back down to looking at your frames per second that you're using. We're on 12 right now, Sean?
Yeah, I started my project on 12, so if you've not changed the frame rate, it should be on 12, I believe, automatically. Yeah, okay. So most people are on 12, yeah.
So what you have to kind of do, and this is something that you'll get better at when you keep animating, is that idea of how long things take to happen. So Sean's doing this now and he's kind of zooming across and he's creating that illusion that he's like going really, really fast. But if you wanted it to be in slow motion, then a good technique that actual kind of animators and puppeteers and things like that will do is they'll act things out, and they'll even time themselves. So if you want, that's why you'll see a lot of animators, they'll have mirrors on the desk where they can kind of pull faces in it and things like that. And what you could do is you could film yourself. Now I know that you're not a stick man or person, but if you filmed yourself in slow motion the way that you want your character to appear on screen, then when you play that back, that will give you an idea of how fast or slow you want things to be when you're animating, and then that'll help you get in the headspace of what you'll need to do when you're drawing. And that's a really good technique when it's going to come to, again, you're coming down to Foley and adding audio in the private session that we're going to be doing, and looking at the shapes that people's mouths make and stuff, and you can film yourself and then go away and stick the audio on. And it's the same thing for speed, or if you're going to throw something, if you can visualize it or film yourself and almost go frame by frame on the video, then that means you can replicate that in your animation. So there's quite a lot of legwork and prep work that you can do if you want to really kind of get to grips with making sure things look right and are timed right and feel right. You don't have to, you can just jump straight in, and if it goes a little bit wrong, just, like what Sean's doing, just kind of go back a little bit and change things, change the position. That's the beauty of this FlipaClip app, is that it does let you go back and change things. But if you did want to do some prep, then yeah, get a mirror out, on your smartphone, film yourself, take photos of yourself, that kind of thing.
Oh, people, my household did not know what I was doing this weekend when I was just trying to walk. I was just walking around the living room in slow motion, just having appreciation for how legs work, and really thinking about how each leg touches the ground and how you then shift your body weight and things like that. It was literally this weekend that I realized, oh, you know what? When you're walking, you're actually dragging yourself forward one leg at a time. It just feels like one fluid motion, doesn't it, when you're doing it? But when you kind of really break it down, it's that one foot touching the ground and then moving your whole body with the next one and things like that.
I'm sure there's a saying in there. It's something you're just falling. Walking is falling. And you're just catching yourself, and it just, if you want to go faster, you're falling quicker. There's an elegant turn of phrase in there somewhere. I'm not sure what it was, but
I feel like you could just highlight my life, which is just it's just me butchering sayings one at a time. Like there's something that I'm getting there now, Ian. Just to kind of, I know that we kind of, but what I found then was I'd copied a couple of these frames from earlier on when my character was nice and tall, we stood up, and then we'd gone lower and stretched. And what my problem was when I was watching it, I'd come out of the kind of like the stretch too soon, and my character was stood really tall straight away, and so I've made them all a little bit smaller, so he's going to do a bit of a skid, and then when I get to the end now he's kind of going to slow, and then at this point I'm going to start going towards the height that I was towards this first one. And so I just felt like, oops, I jumped into the wrong app. I just felt like it was a little bit jarring at first when I was watching it. Suddenly my character just became a little bit too big. So if you're ever watching yours and go, you know what, something's not quite right there, something's a little bit jarring, just have a go back. Like you were saying there, you can just go back, you can just play around with it, edit things, and get it to be how you want. So I'm just going to get my character to now to just stand up on this final one. There we go, let's have a quick look. Yeah, at this point I'm going to start bringing it more towards kind of stood up, and I'm just going to slowly increase that size of the body and the way that they're standing and things like that. The arms are going to become a little bit lower now.
Jump in again really quick. Just having some people giving themselves shout outs on YouTube, which is an excellent idea, in the comments. If you have got a YouTube channel, leave it in the comments, then we will get on it and we will subscribe. We'll do a little subscribe exchange with you. If you subscribe for us, we'll subscribe for you. And also, if it's a channel where you've put animations up, we'd love to see them, but also other people will see them as well. So that's a fantastic idea. Put the links to your YouTube channel in the comments so that we can see them, so that other people can see them. You can do that on Facebook as well if you want to. If you're watching on Facebook and you've got a YouTube channel, put it in there for everyone to see. That would be amazing. Sean's getting really into this now.
I think I'm pretty much there. I'm just going to check the height of my character. See, my character was quite a bit higher, so I'm going to have to just work on making him kind of like stand up a little bit taller towards the end, just to make sure that there's a little bit more consistency. So this is a nice thing about the grid. I don't think. Oh, actually, Ian, could you just switch it so it's the actual one of my iPad? There you go. So you can see it a little bit clearer on here. So I can see that I've started off with my character being. Go to that first one. It's just above the second line there. So this is where the grid really kind of comes into its own in terms of helping you figure out what you're doing and things, and when you're kind of going back to it. So my character's a little bit shorter at the moment. I need to grow actually quite a bit more tall, so I might have to just keep going into this and figuring out how I'm gonna smooth it out, get it to be where it needs to be when I'm going through it and stuff. But I'm gonna have my body get a little bit taller now. I think that's about right. Add in my arms. Oh, they're rubbish, them arms. Never be scared to undo and redo again. And I'm going to get my head back on. And kind of coming to the point where now my character should be just about standing up right again. So maybe one more. Oops. I've already got the head selected, so I'm going to do the head here. I'm quite impressed with myself being able to remember 14 and 54 all the way through as well in terms of getting my body shape right. Lovely. Oh, that last arm was a bit rubbish. There we go. All right, I'm going to have a quick watch through of this now, I think. So let's see how we've got on. Oh, it kind of looks like he's growing a bit there, like he's like almost like Superman growing at the end of that last one. So what I'm going to probably do on my one there is try and squish, maybe try and push out that growing section a little bit more. So possibly from here I would start animating, going back in, adding a little bit more height on this one, then a little bit more height, and so that it doesn't just grow quite as quickly towards the end. Or I might even just for now just copy that one and have it be that height for now. Oops, redo. Just to save myself a little bit of time in this animation. So while I'm just finishing off these last ones now, Ian, do you want to have a quick look at some of the animations that were submitted to us, or let people know where they can find them? I might have been in the zone there. You might have already told everybody this. I was too in the animating zone to know.
No, definitely not. Okay, so what you may or may not know is that Mako Create have our own YouTube channel, which is where we're broadcasting out now. But what we also have is a separate dedicated channel for all of the stuff that you guys make and send to us, which is our Mako Creators channel. So we're Mako Create and you guys are the Mako Creators. So you can find that using this address. If you go onto YouTube and then / Mako Creators channel, it's your channel. We control it, but it's your channel, it's your stuff. So either go / Mako Creators channel, or just do a search for Mako Creators channel, and it looks a little bit like this. You can see it's kind of got our branding on there, and in there is a brand new playlist that was created especially for everybody who submitted some animations to us after last week's session. Now, we've had some fantastic submissions, albeit very quick ones, because you sort of, I'm imagining you're starting to realize how long animation takes. It does take a long time to produce something that is more than a few seconds long. But we're not that interested in how long they are, we're just interested in the quality of them, and the quality has been fantastic. So some of them have been about just ideas that you've had and just gone kind of and done your own thing, which is amazing. But some of them have been about the raindrops that we did last week, which is amazing. And even better still, he kind of took that initial idea and changed it into something completely different. So I can play them all here for you now, but I do encourage you to go and take a look. Obviously subscribe to this Mako Creators channel as well. Go and find your video. Each of these videos will have its own URL, so you can share it with your friends and family. You can post it on your social networks, whatever it is that you want to do. But thank you to everybody who submitted, and we will be announcing the winner out of the ones that did submit. We'll announce some. We'll announce the winner to you guys in a minute, as to who it is that won our prize that we've got, which is our stop motion animation kit, which Sean will show you in a second. So head over there, Mako Creators channel, and give it a like and a subscribe, and go and find your animation if you sent it to us. How are you getting on, Sean?
Yeah, I think I'm all right. I think I decided. Let's have a quick
I think you need to let go.
I'm just gonna get rid of that. No, I want.
The guys get what you're asking them to do.
No, they don't.
This is what it's like. It's addictive, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I'm so close. I'm so close. But yeah, again, you know, one of the quite nice things here is I'm not having to redraw everything. You know, every time I'm looking at it, I'm just that one's the right size. I'm just having a little bit of a play around with height, and this is where what I love the lasso tool for. Is you can really just start having to mess around with your drawings without having to redraw them all from scratch and things like that, and making them look a little bit. I think this might be all right now. I think I might be happy with it. Let's have a quick look. Whoops, I keep doing that. There we go.
I do that as well.
First world problems, that isn't it? Really, I think. All right, so let's get our canvas back on scratch so we can see. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I think I possibly put a few too many frames on that slowing down section at the end. It seems a little bit too quick, but a little bit too long, sorry, I should say, in terms of how long it takes to slow down. So if you ever think that something's going a little bit too slow, I know that somebody asked before about how they make things walk slower, or how they make something go slower. A big part of that is adding in additional frames. So you can kind of go in, and if I wanted to add in more frames at the beginning, I'm quite happy with the speed of the beginning part. But if you wanted to, you could hold down on a frame. And when you hold down on a frame, you get these options which are to bin the frame completely, to copy it. But the ones on the left and the right are to add a new frame in either side of it. So sometimes if you wanted to slow something down, you can just go in and add a couple of frames next to it. Or if you want to speed something up, which I actually want to do with my slowdown, I think there's just too many frames in there. It feels too slow. Or maybe I need to be further apart. Maybe that was it. But you can just go in there and maybe this one. Hold on to it, click the bin key. Don't do this unless you're certain you want to get rid of it, because it does delete it. So we're going to get rid of this, remove, and it says, are you sure you want to remove it? So I'm going to remove this one, and maybe I'll remove this one as well. Let's have a quick look at it, see how we've got on. Yeah, get in there. I think I could actually remove some more, but as Ian was saying there, I'll possibly just be here all day just doing this little bit of an animation. I know somebody asked about teleporting and moving it across from one place to another place. So as you can see on mine, I guess the big difference is I've put a kind of really fast one in here with the kind of lines going around it. You could, if you kind of got rid of this one, almost have your character being in one place and then just appearing in another place. To make that teleport look more realistic, I still think what you'd be best doing though is using the anticipation section that we were talking about right at the beginning. So to let you know that this character is going to move, we did this kind of like swinging of the arms and the leg. To make your character teleport, if your character was just stood like this in one place and then say appeared up here, it might not be very clear that he's teleported. You might just think he's kind of like just there's a glitch or an error or something like that going on. What I would possibly do is kind of maybe get your character like shaking a little bit, or looking like he's kind of like kneeling down, or you know, he's trying to like summon some power somehow. Maybe you get his arms in the air first and like show them to start shaking before he teleports, and it just kind of gives the person on that's watching a bit of a reason to pay attention to it, to know that something's going to happen there. So if you were just going to draw your character in one place and then draw them in another place, that's the best way of kind of like showing it's a teleportation. I think kind of making it look a little bit more realistic is probably not the right word for it, but bit more interesting or a bit more kind of cartoon-like, then a little bit of anticipation before it getting a bit of stuff in there. That'd be what I'd go ahead and do. So yeah, I'm quite happy with my stick figure animation there. Cool. And he's maybe if I was going to carry this on, I would have him jumping up onto these next sections and things like that. All sorts of things we could do. We could animate him being proper Mario and kind of like nudging the top of these boxes and having something appear out the top of it. There's loads of different things that we could do, and that is what we're going to look forward to seeing you all do, and we'll look forward to seeing your animations when you submit them to us, so that we've got lots of different things coming on. When you are happy with your animation, once you've kind of got it exactly how you want it to be, what you need to do is to click on the three dots in the top right hand corner, and we can make a movie, and that exports the file type. So we'd love to see your animations that you make if you send them to us to be able to work on. So to make a movie, you just click on this make a movie section here. You can rename it if you want to. Now we did have somebody send in that you can change the file type here, so it's MP4, but it could be a GIF, useful if you're sharing it maybe on Facebook and stuff like that. Sometimes GIFs good in messages and stuff like that. We all love a good GIF, I'm sure. But if you're sending them in to us, if you could please make them MP4, just because we're going to be putting them on our YouTube channel, it just makes it easier for us to upload them. So making sure that we've got MP4 selected there, and we can just click on make a movie, and that will export your movie, and you'll be able to play it back and watch it. So I've just done a character zooming across the screen there, but what you'll be able to do is, well, anything you want, spend as much time on it as you would like to before sending it in to us.
So shall I go through how to send it to us then, Sean?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Once we've got that.
Oh, one last thing actually, I've just spotted a mistake on mine. There's a little red dot at the top of my screen there. If you've done what I've done and exported it and you're happy with it, but then you spot something in it, don't worry. Your project's still there. You can simply go in, erase the thing that you were looking for, and then export it again, and it'll be there and good for you to go. So again, don't worry. If you export something and then you want to carry on working on it, you can still jump back into the project on here and carry on working on it. I normally, when we do stop motion animation, that's normally a finger, isn't it, that gets on there, but it might just be a stray pen mark. So maybe just have a quick look through your frames and just make sure they're all clean before exporting. That's what I should have done before I did that. So now I've got my finished video, Ian. How do I go about sending it to us?
All right, let's just have a quick look then. So what we want to do is head over to the Mako Create website, which is at makocreate.co.uk. Hopefully you guys have all got it bookmarked now as one of your favorite websites ever. Head over to the project section in the menu at the top, and that will show you not just this project, but all of the projects that we've got going on and have done recently. Shout out again for Paul's session, which we'll be doing tomorrow, which is the retro video games. Take a little look at that when you get a chance. But if you want to send a video to us that you've done during this session, click on the Drawing Digital Animations project, and that will load up a page which has got lots of information on it about this project. So if you scroll down, it'll tell you what you're going to learn, when it is, where it is, who can take part, the price, which is free, yay, and the technical requirements. And then you've got a chance to catch up on last week's if you missed it. It's on YouTube, but it's also embedded on this page as well. And then here is episode 2, which is this session right now, stick figure animation, and then there's a lovely button there that says submit your animations here, and when you click that, it's just going to take you through to a quick form. You just need to put in a few simple answers, the maker name, the maker's age, and email address, so we can contact you if you win. And we'll also send you little updates about other projects and things like that we've got going on. And then it says upload your animations here, so you can just click on that file, and then maybe you can do it yourself, or maybe if you need grown-ups help, we just need that file from the device that you've been working on. We just need access to that somehow, depending on that'll differ depending on what device you're using, but we basically need to put it in here and then send it over to us. And then that will magically work its way over onto our Mako Creators YouTube channel. So not straight away, we will get them and review them and look at them, and then eventually they will work their way up there. And then once we've got them, what we'll do is we'll look at them and we'll say, hey, that one's a winner. So over to you, Sean.
So we do have a winner for this week, but let's have a quick look at what they're going to win. First of all, they'll win one of our awesome Mako Create bags. We've got some cool things in here. We have got a set of colouring pencils, Mako branded colouring pencils with sharpener on the lid. We have got a desk easel. These are really useful when you're drawing, so you can get a nice angle on them, but also really useful if you're going to be using them for stop motion animation, so you can get the right angle for the camera and things like that you're going to be using. So useful for two types of animation. We have got a Mako, well, we've got two pens actually. We've got an official Mako branded one, but we've also got this snazzy one, which is, as well as being a pen, a nice stylus. So lets you draw on your tablet or phone when you're doing it. So that one's a nice one if anyone's still using their fingers to be able to do it. So two sets of pens, a lovely Mako Create recycled notepad with pen. Also useful if you're wanting to do any flipbook animations, maybe some real life flipbook animations. Maybe we could do one of those in the corner. That's what I used to do in the bottom of my school books anyway, whenever I was doing them. That was when my original Stickmen videos were first made. We've got also a Lego board and Lego character, because anyone that knows us knows that we love Lego and we love animating on Lego as well. So you've got a pack there that will help you do both digital animation and stop motion animation with Lego characters. So loads of cool stuff in that bag. And also a little card that shows you all our YouTube channels and things like that, so you can still send us your videos and let us know so we can upload them to our channel and let them go. So, Ian, I guess you should put them out of the misery. Who's this week's winner? Who's won the animation pack this week?
Oh, can you filibust for me while I just find out which one it was?
yeah. Oh, so yeah. Okay, so I'll tell you what we can do. While we're doing that, I'll have a bit of a chat about the private session that we're going to be doing on Thursday. So if you are available on Thursday mornings, you want to learn a little bit more about our stick figure animations, I'm going to have a quick look at the animation that I did at the very beginning of the session, which was the green stick figure animation that was walking across the screen and then jumping from my laptop onto my screen that I've got in my home office. Could you jump up my my screen there, Ian, just so we have a quick look at this one. So this was the animation that I made, and this is what we're going to be looking at. So today we focused on our character kind of zooming across, but we're going to look at the walk cycle. So this is a really good animating tool that you'll be able to use, and we're going to use it with stick figures. But once you've learned how to create the cycle, it works not just on stick figures, but on everything else that you animate. So we've got some sound effects in there as well. And so that's what we're going to be working on during the private session. So Thursday mornings, 10 a.m. They are £10 for a ticket, plus booking fee, and you can get them from our Facebook page as well as on Eventbrite. And there's a link on our YouTube channel, on our website, which we'll get Ian to show you again in a little bit, which is just under where you submit your games. You can purchase tickets from there. So hopefully we had a great class last week and we had lots of fun making a ball bounce around the screen. But yeah, this week we'll be taking our stick animations to the next level as we're doing it. How are we getting on there, Ian? Have we managed to find the winner?
I've found it.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So let's just have a quick look. The winner is it's called Raindrops by Helen Kelly, and Helen Kelly has used a free app. We can see it's got the watermark on it there, and she followed Sean's instructions and then added some extra bits into it to kind of make it a little animation that kind of looks a bit like the water cycle.
I was going to say, it's almost like something you'd see in school or something like that, isn't it? The water cycle, lovely with the sun evaporating it there at the end. Absolutely brilliant. Helen Kelly, did you say there?
Yeah, that's the one.
Fantastic.
Helen Kelly. So we do have your email address, but if you want to drop us a private message on wherever it is that you're watching, and if you don't reach out to us, we'll catch up with you. But if you can throw the ball into our court, that would be amazing. Get in touch and we'll get some details off you so we can post that out to you. The animation kit that Sean just showed you, that is, and there will be another animation kit up for grabs to the winner of whoever wins this week's. So send your stuff in to us and we'll announce this week's winner in next week's stream.
Brilliant. Any questions or anything like that that's come through there, Ian? Before I think we're pretty much ready to wrap up now. But just want to double check we've not left anyone hanging or anything like that. No desperate ones that we could look at. We could answer quickly before we wrap it all up.
I don't think so. Everybody seems to be. I think what it is everybody kind of got the tongue.
I had to say, was it a bit like me before when I was changing the height? Yeah, you're trying to rein me in. So
everybody looks all right.
Everyone's all right. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in this week. Brilliant. As next week, we're going to be bringing objects to life, aren't we? We're going to be animating on video. So I know we've been animating it on a photo today, but next week we're going to be going one step further and bringing inanimate objects to life and drawing on top of those. It's a really fun session. I'm quite looking forward to that one. I think that one's actually my favourite. Little bits and bobs to do within animation next week. If you would like to learn more about stick figure animation, get a ticket to the private session on Thursday. And also, if you're looking for another way to be creative, tune in tomorrow for Paul, as he's going to be doing the retro video game mashup live stream again from Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and Periscope, and yeah, like and subscribe everywhere. One last thing, if you really enjoyed this session, please give us a rating or a review wherever you can. We always love it. 5 stars, obviously, if possible. But yeah, we always love it, and it's great to show and spread the word about these live sessions to everyone. Oh, and I guess, we can't leave without saying a massive thank you to Arts Council England, who have helped us by funding these projects and letting us continue to do live streams to help educate and keep you all entertained during this pandemic. So hope you all have a fantastic week, and I can't wait to see you all next week for our next animation session. See you later. Take care. Bye.